Well, took a couple months break. How bad could it get in that short period of time, huh? Oh, what are you telling me? Inflation's kicking back up? You telling me the economy's going to shit? We went to war in Iran. Gas is $5 a gallon. Yeah, I picked a good time to get a little too busy to be making YouTube videos, and I'm going to try to make my way back. And let's just say it's been eventful in the last month and a half, 2 months. I didn't even know where to start with this video. I don't have one topic in mind. I just kind of want to give a brief overview because I'm kind of catching up as I listen. Obviously, there's some glaring things, gas being number one. We'll talk about that here shortly, but that's something you just can't avoid. It hits you right in the face. You notice that pretty often when you go to the pump. But overall, the situation we're in is not great. I'll say it that way. And generally, I was too young to live through the last recession in a way that I remember it. 2008, I don't remember. I was playing Modern Warfare 2, sitting in front of the TV split screen with the little brothers. So I'm getting to experience this one. To me, it feels like, and I think that we are already in the recession. It's already here. They haven't called it yet. Nobody's calling it yet. People are calling for it. And it's taking longer than it should, in air quotes, off some things we've talked about a long time ago, yield curve inversion and things like this, where we have plenty of indicators pointing us to recession right now. And I wanted to go through a couple of them and see what your guys' thoughts are on it, because I think we're checking almost every box except for stock market related things and some labor market stuff. Like I said, I think we're already here. I think the recession's now. We're living it right now. As far as I remember, like I said, I was a little too young for 2008, but this is the hardest economically I've seen things ever. And I've been somewhat removed. I've only been working for a few years in college and in high school, but still, you pick up things as a teenager and throughout high school. You can see your parents struggling depending on how the economic situation is, how well they're doing. And right now, I'm watching the people around me, people I care about, friends, family, and then in general, just through the power of the internet, through YouTube and all these other things, watching videos of other people struggling. Yes, it's all anecdotal, but I think if you experience it and you see the anecdotal evidence on the internet, I think it's a believe your lying eyes scenario where the government and everybody else is coming out and being like, everything's great. Meanwhile, you look at your situation, you're like, dude, shit is going to hell in a handbasket around here. I don't know what you're talking about. It's all great. To just start off the list, I guess. We can just start off the list. Like I said, there's a couple main indicators. One of the first ones, tight credit markets, borrowing, and interest rates. We are at the highest interest rates we've seen in a long time. Granted, in the grand scheme, they're not that high, but they're high relative to everything else. We've talked about it with the home affordability, cars, anything where you're taking a big loan, you're feeling the pain right now. I talked about it when I bought my house, but our house financed 6 3/4% on the 30-year mortgage. Yeah, $1,300 mortgage on a $200,000 home that we put 10% down on. Kind of sucks. You got people around you that have $400,000 homes at a 2-point-some% interest rate, and they pay the same amount as a mortgage for me as I do, or less. Interest rates aren't coming down. Inflation's ticking back up. Inflation was coming down slightly, and rates were coming down slightly until we had to go to war in Iran. So, kiss that goodbye for a couple more months. I know Trump's trying to get this new guy to replace Powell, and their plan is cut rates, but we'll just have to wait and see where that goes. But the problem is they're going to cut rates, and then inflation ignites again, and we get right back into this spiral of inflation just outpaces everything, and regular people don't have the means or methods to keep up with it. I'll say it that way. Don't need to go too far down the rabbit hole. But overall, credit's tight. Interest rates being too high, people don't want to borrow with interest rates that high, and people don't want to lend because it's just kind of risky. Stock market's at all-time highs, basically. We're still cruising up at all-time highs, led by tech and AI stuff. And that leads me to these asset prices. So, home prices, still high. They are coming down, which is good, but they're still too high. Stock market, like I said, still too high. Everything's the most expensive it's ever been in your life. Nothing is cheaper. I'm driving by the gas station right now. We're looking at $4.70 a gallon right now. It was $5 last week. So just give it until they bomb Iran again one more time. We'll bomb them one more time. Gas prices go up. They'll drop again. In between that time, somebody in the White House will do some insider trading, buying oil futures, and flip a little nice couple $1 million profit while you pay $70 for a tank of gas in your 15-gallon car. We'll get to that in some other video, but this Iran thing is kind of some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, where it's like, I've never seen somebody blow it like they're blowing it currently right now. It's amazing. Like I said, we'll talk about it in some other video. I don't have time today. Let's talk about the asset prices more. Home prices specifically, that's the thing that interests me the most. I think that's related to 2008, where it's like, hey, that was the last time we saw a market crash, and it was revolved around the mortgage crisis. I don't think we're having anything like that again. It's more just that homes are so expensive and interest rates are so high, nobody can afford them. So right now, we still have less inventory than we did pre-COVID right now, homes. There's less homes on the market than pre-COVID, but there's so few people buying homes because nobody can afford it, that we are outpacing. And I was reading a Redfin article that was talking about this, where there's like 40-some% more sellers than there are buyers right now in the market, and that's the highest it's ever been since Redfin has compiled data, and that was only in 2013, so I'll give you that. But in the last 13 years, there's never been a point worse than this as far as the gap between buyers and sellers. You have 50, 60, 70-year-old people selling their home they bought for, I mean, the meme's what, a couple, some peanuts and a handful of raspberries, and they're selling their home for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. I have 2 homes in my hometown where I grew up right now, and they're big, beautiful homes and all this stuff. One is $2.6 million, and I'm watching it just because I'm curious, but it's dropped like $200,000 in the last month, because nobody from where I'm from is buying a $2.6 million home. I'll tell you that. Not very many people. And then the other one's a little over $1 million. These homes were built back in the day for sub $500,000. And it's just because it's appreciated in value so exponentially. And then obviously the people who own them want the market value. Can't blame them. But you got a bunch of boomers thinking it's like, look at my asset and how much, look at this great investment I made. It's like, well, I don't know. They're just inflating the money away into oblivion. So you didn't really do anything. You built a house and you lived in it, and now it's went up by 5 to 10x over the last 20 to 30 years somehow. Congrats. I wish I was you. Sadly, we can't all have been 30 years old 30 years ago. So it's just fact of life. We're just going to suffer, I guess. And the prices aren't going to come down. I mean, barring a giant real estate crash of some kind, the prices aren't coming down. The interest rates could go down, but like I said, if the interest rates go down, the prices might just keep going up. Money becomes easier to borrow, prices go back up again. I don't know if there's any solution. I think the only solution is build more homes. That's not a real solution because they're not going to do it. They can't. It takes too long and nobody's doing it. So that's where we're at with that. Stock market, like I said, is just, I think we'll talk about it at the very end, but I think this is the one trigger that's like, this is kind of keeping everything afloat. AI is keeping everything afloat. And if AI trips and stumbles, so help me God, the stock market will plummet. And I'm calling that right now. Might be totally wrong. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm on my way home from my engineering job. I'm not a stock market guy. I'm no finance guy, but I think that's where we're headed long term. Consumer stress. Gas. Do I have to say anything else besides $5 a gallon gas? I do remember in 2008 when gas was over $4 a gallon here in Ohio, people were losing their mind. And we just hit $5 a gallon. And it's going to stay up there. It's not coming down. The Iran thing is not going to end anytime soon. And it's only going to get worse as the reserves run out and these ships that are transporting the oil across the ocean get to their destination and can no longer go refill up and make the cycle again. We're headed there. I've heard numbers, people are throwing stuff out like mid-July, early July is when we're looking at a real issue if something doesn't change quickly here with the Strait of Hormuz and all this stuff going on in the Middle East. And we'll find out. If we go to $6 a gallon gas, people are going to start lighting shit on fire. Like, there's going to be riots in the streets, I swear. Not actually, I don't think. People just grin and bear it because it's just, I don't know what you do. I'm looking at Europe's gas prices. Over in Europe, they're paying $7, $8, $9, $10 a gallon equivalent. They're buying their gas in liters over there, the Europeans, how they do. But this is something, especially in the United States, everybody drives cars. It's required. You got to go to work. You got to take the kids to daycare. You got to go get the groceries. You got to drive. We don't live in a walkable area. I live in Ohio. This is Midwest. This is driver central. Get in the car. Drive an hour to work. Drive an hour and a half to work. People do it every single day. And it's taking a toll, for sure. Savings, we talked about it for like the last 2 years post-COVID. Savings are at all-time low. Credit debt on like credit cards and short-term stuff, the pay-as-you-go loans, the buy now, pay later is just shooting up off and to the right. It just continues to go up, and it's not coming down anytime soon because people aren't making any more money than they were before, and as inflation ticks back up, it's just going to be more painful. Ties right into the labor market. Supposedly that's the only thing that's keeping us afloat. Per the official numbers, is the labor market's great. Super low unemployment, and we just riding that forever. I wish I could say with confidence that I believe it's true. I haven't believed these numbers since I started this YouTube channel when Biden was president and the government was dropping these numbers. I haven't believed them then. I don't believe them now. I think this is the most rigged data set in the world. And there's people with videos explaining why they think it's rigged. I think it's more of just a reporting issue. They definitely classify things in a way that looks beneficial to them, and they do a little tweaking on their end to make it beneficial. So we can leave it at that, but overall I'm listening to people trying to get jobs and they're just not there. Or the job is there, but they're gonna pay you $18 an hour, $20 an hour. And it's like, well, my rent is $1,500 a month. So $20 an hour doesn't really cut it all that well. And that's just the situation for many, many people in the United States. And that's just like I said, Ohio, Midwest, Columbus, rent, decent sized city here in the Midwest. You go to the coasts, your rent's gonna be $3,000 a month. Figure that out on $20 an hour. You're not gonna be able to. You better get 8 roommates in there and fucking build a couple bunk beds and hope for the best and start praying, because that's the only chance you have. AI, we can talk about that in a different thing, but the labor stuff, job market with AI, they're trying their best. I think it's under delivering on what the promises are right now, but they're trying their best to use it in a way to cut as many jobs as possible. And maybe they won't cut the jobs, but they'll just quit hiring and they'll just replace every single thing they can with a computer. For efficiency's sake, they make more money, you get screwed. That's what it is. We got people coming out of college, can't find a job, got a bunch of student debt. Tail of the tape for the last 10 to 15 years. Millennials, you guys were the first ones. It's still going. And for some reason, we're still telling all these kids to go to college to get degrees that don't make any sense. They'll graduate. The season's about to come up here, where graduation season from college is about to come up. And these kids are going to have the time of their life finding a job after they have $100,000 in debt from a degree that pays $40,000 a year. They'll have to figure that out. It's not going to be good for the overall outlook of the country. It won't be good for them. It won't be good for anybody. Now, to wrap it all up and put a bow on it, like I said, I think the stock market is the main thing. But we are now, I think, at the point where we're like teetering on the edge, I would say, as far as just how the economy feels to a general person, an everyday person. It's hard. I listen to so many of these people that are YouTubers and things like that. Some of them have decent perspectives, but a lot of them are like, dude, you're making $2 million a year, a couple $100,000, million. It's like you don't really have any grasp on what regular life is for a regular person. I have somewhat of a grasp, but in a way that pisses me off, because me and my wife we're not poor, making $140,000 a year, $150,000. About to have 2 kids, got to pay for all the bills and everything that it is. It's like back in the day, $150,000 is like, that's good, very good. You're making a lot of money. Right now, $150,000 feels like, like it feels pretty nice. Can't imagine making 50. It's just going to be hard as shit. You're just going to struggle, or you're going to go into debt. And all it takes now is a trigger, I think, at this point. The stock market will be the easiest one. The war in Iran obviously is its own can of worms. You pop that one off, all this goes out the window, everything goes to hell. Who knows what's going to happen? If AI stumbles and collapses in any way, or there's a weakness that's seen, like, what was it, Lehman Brothers in 2008, and they're tied in more than I know, to be honest, but one company, one entity goes down, it could take the whole house of cards with it. And the AI shit is primed for this, with the weird circular investments that they're doing. Nobody's making any money with any of these companies, and they're just betting on the future and just keep dumping money into it like a black hole. And we'll find out. It won't take long. A couple days of negative stock market news, we see big losses on a couple of these companies. It could all go to hell in a handbasket real quick. And I'll be waiting for it. Nothing we can do. You prepare yourself the best you can, and then hope for the best. And we'll ride it out. But like I said, took a decent break. Everything went crazy. I'm going to try to get back to making regular videos now that we have some time. And let me know what you guys think. I'd be interested to hear from you guys. See how you guys are doing out there. Hope it's well. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.